What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach. I know it's been a little bit since I've again posted here on YouTube, and again, I know one of the YouTubes I posted, one of the last YouTube videos I posted, I was in the hospital, and that again was from pneumonia, straight up pneumonia. And no, that was not fun. That was in my left lung, is where they found my pneumonia. So yeah, it was 5 days in the hospital. And again, I didn't get to post, a whole lot. I think I'm only get to post once. I only get to post once while I was in the hospital those 5 days. And that's because, again, they was constantly having me move, different rooms. That's how packed it was. But I'm back, and I'm trying to get back into, posting as much as I can every day. Because like I said, this is something that I enjoy doing. So with that said, listen to me when I say this. This is something that I've been thinking about, and it's something that I've saw from a post on another form of social media that I have, and that is this: a person's mental health is a big thing. How you treat somebody is a big thing, because again, I'm going to use me as an example, as somebody that's in a wheelchair. For somebody that's never been on dates, relationships, or anything, and I get told, or I've gotten told because I'm in a wheelchair. With that said, yes, I'm sitting down in a wheelchair. But just because I'm sitting down doesn't mean that I'm not human, that I'm not just as human as a person walking. And that goes for anybody. That goes for somebody, even somebody that's on a walker or crutches or even a cane, to walk with. Whatever the case may be. Look at a person for who they are. When you look at a person with a walker or a person with a cane or even a wheelchair, take that, use your mind and take that walker away, or that wheelchair away, or that cane away, or those crutches away. And what do you have? What do you have? You have a 100% human with a 100% different, but 100% true story about them. Now, everybody goes through something different. Now, what I mean by that is, like for me, I have spina bifida, or like I've explained to you, that's what I was born with. And yes, there's 4 different levels of spina bifida. There's people out there with all types of cancers or things like that, it's all, it's all different. But my point to this is this. Matter of fact, I've got a friend of mine that's got cerebral palsy, and I've known him 10 plus years. And from then, from pretty much from the time that I met him to now, he called me his big brother about 10 years ago, has been because I stuck up for him. He got bullied, and I got him to the right person, to tell the name to. Yeah, that's what I said. But there again, I stepped in because I've been in that situation. And it will fuck with your mentality. So that's what I'm saying. You treat somebody just as equal as everybody else. Whether somebody's walking or not walking, or maybe they're on crutches or a cane, walk with a cane, or walk with a walker, crutches, canes, or whatever. Again, maybe they're like me. Which I know there is a lot of people that's in wheelchairs. When you look at somebody that has that disability, that has a wheelchair or has a walker or has crutches or walks with a cane, here's what I want you to do. In your mind, look at that person as without that cane, or take that cane in your mind and say, oh, wait a minute, now that person don't have a cane, guess what? They're still 100% human. So how you treat a person says a lot about you and little about them. And when for a lot of times, how you judge somebody, when you judge somebody, like I said, for their walker or their crutches, or maybe their wheelchair, as far as, like I said, that goes, I've been there with getting judged for having a wheelchair. And yeah, it sucks. And with that said, I've gotten turned down from dates, relationships. I've got everything. I've dealt with it. And so I kind of know these things because I've been through it. And I'm telling you this here on YouTube because I know a lot of you have been through the same thing. And there's a lot of people out there that deal with judgments or getting bullied or whatever the case may be because of their, I'll just say, because of their setback. We'll use, instead of saying disability, we'll say setback. But with that said, every setback, again, leads to a greater comeback. So, when you see a person that has a wheelchair or a walker or crutches or a cane, or whatever the case may be, maybe you see a person that has a missing arm, or maybe they're have a maybe they're a missing leg, an amputee. I can't think of the right word. Maybe they're an amputee of their arm, their leg, maybe their foot. Well, and you think about it, and you really, really stop thinking about it. Behind that, there's a story behind that of why they don't have an arm, or why somebody don't have a leg, or, maybe they're missing their hand, or their foot, or something. So a person, even like I said, with that's an amputee of some body part, whether it's legs, arms, hands, or your feet. Behind the amputee, guess what? You still got a 100% human with a 100% different, but 100% true story about us. Like I said, yes, I'm in a wheelchair, as you saw. I know in a few YouTube videos I've shown that. With me in a wheelchair. But behind that person that has that that certain disability is a 100% human with a 100% different but 100% true story about them. So, with that said, think about it this time. The next time you try to, you're around somebody that has that walker, or has those, has that cane, or those crutches, or even a wheelchair, and that person tries to ask you to go out, before you turn that person down, think about this. In your mind, take those crutches away from that person, or take that walker away from that person, or that cane, or even that wheelchair. And what do you have? You have a human being, a 100% true human being that, yes, again, has a 100% true, but 100% story, true, but 100% different story about them. I stumbled a little bit. Again, that happens. Just like you, I'm 100% human. Again, you've heard me just a minute ago. You heard me, or a second ago. You heard me, just stumble on my words. But again, that happens. That happens. Happens more than what people realize, or happens, a lot more than what people I tend to agree with, because, there's a lot of people that may have, like you may not have a disability that's not be as complicated as yours. And when they see that you have that complication on your disability, sometimes more than what, a lot of people think, those people that might have less of a disability than you try to make it look like they're always right. Now, I'm not saying that nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I'm not saying that. But here's what I am saying. Don't judge someone before you get, that you get to know them. Because you'd be surprised you'd be real surprised of just how much each and every individual is the same. We're all 100% human, and that we all have 100% different, but 100% true story about us. So we'll always remember that. Before you judge someone, think about those things. Like I said, a person's mental health goes a long way. There's, what I mean by that is, again, some people might go through, some type of cancer, some type of, disability. But just because that person has that disability doesn't make that person any different. Doesn't make them any different. Just means they have a different way of doing things. For example, I'll take me for example. Someone with a wheelchair. I can do the same things as someone walking. But again, it takes me a lot longer to do something because I have a wheelchair, Now, of course, as far as running and jumping, that's a little bit of a setback. Now, I could jump a little bit if I'm standing with my walker. Not very well though, again, some of that is just because of my balance is on my level 1 spina bifida effects. And for those of you, I think I'll put this, for those of you who may not know what spina bifida is, I'm going to explain to you the way it was explained to me. As I said, there's 4 different levels of spina bifida. But my level 1, it looks like this. If your spine's curved like this, my spine's curved like this. So how your spine is curved, my spine's the opposite. Only by a little bit. Not by much. And yes, that has really messed with my balance. Which is why I'm still not, I haven't been up walking on my own. But just like you, I'm 100% human. But I have a 100% different story. 100% different, but 100% true story about me. Just like you have a 100% different, but 100% true story about you. So with that said, keep being you. Keep that smile on your face. Keep that positive attitude. And sometimes people will misunderstand you. And sometimes people that misunderstand you, they don't misunderstand you on purpose. They misunderstand you because it's, they haven't been through that disability. They don't have have that disability. So sometimes it can be tough to understand. But a person's mental health is more important than I can even begin to put in words, try to put it in just a few short words. Like I said, the one thing that you really need to realize is this: how you treat a person says a lot about you and a little about them. And again, I know some things are easier said than done. I know that. But again, always remember, a person's mental health says a lot. A person's mental health tells you what they go through. A person's mental health tells you what they go through, tells you what they've been through. You're going to see, again, you're going to see a lot of people who, maybe you see somebody that goes through, you might see somebody who, I think I'll say this, maybe you're social media and you're friends with somebody on that social media, and you see that person is always low, or has been low for a long time. Maybe for a while they was, for a while they was up, and now they're, now they've gone low again, now they're low. Or maybe you saw somebody that was low for a long time, and then now they're up, up. Well, again, that has a lot to do with someone's mental health. It's not who they are, but it's what they've been through is what I'm trying to say. A person's mental health goes with everything that they have dealt with or been through. Like I said, I myself, yes, I have went through hell and back. More than I can explain, to tell you the truth, a lot of things that, got to me. But again, think about it this way. That's exactly what I've been through, So with that said, always protect your mental health. If something's bringing you down, try to stay out of that situation. And build up around those things that build you up. Stay around those things that build you up, because that's where you need to be. Build yourself up. Be around people and things that build you up and not tear you down. Because again, unfortunately, yes, there are things and people out there that will tear you down big time, and it sucks. It sucks. And I'll be one to admit, yes, it hurts. And it definitely hurts big time. But again, you're gonna find those people that want to build you up. They want to see you smile. They want to see you, do good in life. Whatever the case may be, they want to see you be good at that. And those are the kind of people that you need to build yourself up with. Because those are the kind of people that will push you to be the greatest that you can be. And I know it's not easy. Nothing is easy. But as I've said before, listen to me when I say this again. Nothing is impossible. Because the word impossible means I'm possible. You're possible. Whatever you're after, it's possible. Maybe you're after that first relationship, or, maybe you're after that first working job, or whatever the case may be. That's possible. Now, when will those things take place? That's a hard thing to really say. I mean, that's something that's tough to say, because again, nothing happens overnight. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes confidence. It takes you to keep being you. It takes somebody that's not going to be judgmental. It takes you to realize, oh, wait a minute, this person's dealt with this situation or that situation, but behind those situations that person deals with, guess what? Again, they're 100% human. But again, 100% true, but 100% different story about them. So keep being you. Keep smiling. And like I said, before you judge something or judge, a situation, think about it. Think about that situation, try to put yourself in that person's shoes and try to see things how they see it. And that might help you understand things, some things a little better. In other words, it might help you understand that person's situation a lot better. So again, keep being you. Keep smiling. Never let anything or anyone hold you back. Keep that positive attitude. Again, I know that's easier said than done. Trust me, I've been there. More than I can tell you. I've been there. Keep going. I'm proud of you. In case no one's told you today or at any time, I'll tell you. I will tell you. I'm proud of you. And again, I can't say thank you enough, each and every one of you, for sticking beside me as long as you have. Again, I know there was a little bit that I didn't get to post, that I didn't post. I pushed it once while I was in the hospital and that was it. But again, that didn't mean I didn't want to. It was just the cards I was dealt with. It was a lot of moving around that went on, and by the time I got to where I needed, to the right. By the time I got set to the final, my final room that I was in, there at the hospital, it was time for me to go. So keep going, keep being you. Let's get it.